So, an update. So, first of all, taking a selfie video is really, really weird because you keep wanting to look at the screen to see how it looks instead of the camera. So, your eyes look to the left, makes you look really weird. Anyway, so the first day we got started, I actually stayed at the Carriage Inn Bread and Breakfast, which was a really cool house, a lot of Civil War activity around that area. And so the house was actually owned at one point by George Washington. So to know that I pooped where George Washington pooped is a nice thing. Anyway, had a great breakfast there. Very interesting area. Seems like a lot of biking that goes on in that area. That's in Charlestown, right next to Harper's Ferry. But I had to take my rental car because Enterprise wanted to charge me $700 to drop it off in Charlestown all the way up to the Hertz in Martinsburg. So I was left scrambling for a ride to get back to Harper's Ferry to start the trail. So finally I called some of the shuttles that are listed in the ATC guide for shuttles and got Trail Boss, super awesome guy, came all the way out from Harper's Ferry, which is about 15 miles to Martinsburg, and grabbed me and got a lot of good stories, told me about the first 10 miles or so, said, you know, stay at the Ed Garvey shelter because Crampton isn't very good. It's one of the older shelters. So took his advice. So shout out to him. Got to Ed Garvey after I checked into the ATC. Realized I was really, really out of shape. So it took a lot of breaks. I think I took 5 breaks going up the first hill, which is only about 750 feet of climb. And I only walked about 6.5 miles. But a lot of cool stuff there. Didn't really do much listening to music. I was just kind of focused on what was going on and just getting used to things. I felt pretty good. Got up to Ed Garvey, which is super cool. I met Sarah and Dave. Dave's from Australia, and Sarah is from Maryland. Hiked with them pretty much all 4 days, and then a couple other guys, Neil and Bob, and then a couple section hikers, Pamby and Tom. But anyway, when we got up to Ed Garvey, first thing I had to do was get water because I drank all my water. Obviously, I wasn't quite prepared for the heat because it was like 78 degrees, something like that. So the first thing you do at Ed Garvey, and I don't recommend this for anybody, is you go down a hill 0.4 miles. So basically a mile up and back, or down and back, I should say, to get water from a very cold spring, which is great. But coming up the hill killed me. So I wasn't very social, wasn't very hungry. I was hot. I wasn't used to the heat and the exercise. I went and ended up getting a super bad headache, laid down, went to sleep, didn't eat any dinner, didn't do any of that stuff, just didn't feel good. So laid down, went to bed, and didn't get to bed till like 11 or so just because of the heat in the tent, and my body was just too hot. And that happens to me, especially when I exercise and, you know, in the heat, my body temperature for some reason raises pretty quickly. I don't even like hot tubs because it raises my body temperature. So some weird fact about me. So anyway, day 2 actually wasn't too bad. We were going to hike 10 miles, which we did. We went to what the trail runner told us was the Taj Mahal of campgrounds, which is Dahlgren. It had showers. It had a bear hang, which is nice. So we got there, got to shower, and then the group ordered pizza because you can get pizza delivered there. So they were ecstatic about that. I didn't order pizza. I chose to lighten my pack weight by eating some food, which was great. But another fact about me as you get older is as I've gotten older, sodium really affects me. So I could tell that night I was drinking a lot of water. I'd only gone to the bathroom a couple times. And so the next day we were doing 9.1 from Dahlgren to Pogge campsite, just trying to keep it easy, keep it simple. And, you know, by the end, all the pounding, all the, you know, you're going up and down hills and hitting rocks. My right foot was just really stiff, my ankle. And mostly I think it was from sodium and swelling and stuff. So it was pretty stiff that next day. Well, at Pogge, my thermarest decided to blow a gasket and the seams on the inside started to rip. So I sent pictures out on Instagram of it. So no big deal. There was only one real seam, so I started to, you know, put in my tent, and then I got into my tent and 2 more ripped. So now I had a giant bubble about 6 inches. I'll actually share a picture. 6 inches across, which looked like lumbar support, and had to sleep on that. Well, that night I had to use it because it got really cold. Like, I think it was down to 45 degrees. And at one point at sunset, I went out to the bathroom with my t-shirt on, and I came back just shaking, my teeth rattling, shaking. And then I went out later with a fleece on, and again, teeth rattling, shaking. So it was extremely cold. But once I got in the tent and got on my thermarest and under my quilt, I was actually warm. I was actually sweaty. I put on my thermal pants that I have, just really light Patagonia thermal pants, and I was actually really, really warm. I didn't even want to get out of the tent the next night. But needless to say, with the thermarest issue, I didn't sleep real well. So that brought me to day 4. Day 4, we decided that we were going to Raven Rock, which is 10 miles. And then if we felt okay, we were going to hike the last 4.6 miles to Penmar County Park, because there was an incoming storm today, which is Friday, day 5. And we kind of wanted to avoid that. Sarah and I decided that we wanted to avoid that if we could. So nothing really exciting happened. Ran into First Trail Magic, which is just some jugs of water on the side of the trail, which is awesome. I didn't need it, so I didn't use it. A couple stream crossings, which I'm going to record all the stream crossings, so hopefully I don't fall in. But if I do, I capture it on video. And then I got to Raven Rock, just kind of chilling, waiting for Sarah to show up, because she's usually the second one to show up out of the group of 5 people. And she got there, then Neil got there just shortly after. Sarah and I decided to hike the extra 4.6, and it was downhill, which was super cool, but it's definitely a precursor to Pennsylvania. There's a lot of rock hopping as you go down. There's some big rocks in there, ankle turners for sure. We stopped about halfway, talked to a group of high school kids that were actually hiking up the hill we were just coming down, and they were like, "How far is it?" And we're like, "Oh, you're not far," but they hadn't even hit the hard part yet. So anyway, we got down to the bottom, and Sarah had been talking to her mom and dad. She's from Maryland, and they were gonna come pick her up, and she was just gonna stay at home. And I decided to come to the bed and breakfast, which I showed you earlier, or will show you, I guess. I'll put the video afterwards, of my honeymoon suite. Pretty sweet. Got a jacuzzi. Talked to the guy. He said, "Well, all of our regular rooms are taken, but we got the king size bed or the queen with the jacuzzi." I said, "I'll take that." So I'm going to stay here for 2 nights. I had to order a new pad from Amazon, which will be here Saturday. So I'm kind of stuck here until Saturday anyway, and they'll deliver it here. There's supposed to be an outfitter here, but the owner of this bed and breakfast didn't think they'd have pads. I don't know. A couple just interesting facts that happened during the trip. So Dave's from Australia, and while we're in Dahlgren, we're talking about trail names. And it is funny because Dave drinks a lot of tea. Like, he'll stop in the middle of the trail and have a cup of tea. So Sarah was like, "Well, you could be Cuppa," and you know, whatever. And then somebody, I guess, and maybe it was Bob or somebody, said teabag. And Dave's, "Oh, yeah, that sounds good." And I'm like, so yeah, that's great. That you'll be famous. So anyway, I proceeded to explain to him what teabag was here, because obviously there's some cultural slang differences, and he wasn't all for it as much. He was less excited. But I spent the next 20 minutes or so at least trying to talk him into it, just because to me it's funny. Everyone else, I don't know if it'd be funny, but he was a good sport about it. He actually brought it up later at Pogie about being Mr. Teabag, but I don't think it's going to stick for a trail name, but we'll see. I know that he wants to get a whole new setup. He's not happy. He's using a hammock, and he's got a backpack that just is heavy and has a lot of stuff that you shouldn't have. At one point, he had 3 bags. So a bag of food inside of a bag inside of a waterproof bag. I'm like, dude, get rid of some of those bags. Lighten your weight. So anyway, we're gonna wait out the storm here, and now I gotta wait for my new sleeping pad so I can sleep more comfortably. I actually didn't sleep well in this bed last night, which is kind of funny because you get to a bed and you're like, oh, I'm gonna sleep great. Nope, didn't happen. So I don't know what that was, if it was just me or not. But yeah, so that's it. So if you want to watch the videos, go ahead. They're not gonna be the greatest, but when I get back and I get a chance to edit them, I'll try to make them a little cleaner, a little bit better. But like I said, for the most part, the videos that I'm going to give you are unedited from my hiking, random thoughts, just different stuff. So I can't really guarantee any of the quality. All right. So just to give you an update, we're on day 5. I'm holed up in the Burgundy Lane Bread and Breakfast. See all my stuff. They did my laundry. There's pizza from last night Sarah and I got at the park that we were waiting for our rides. She was waiting for her mom, and I was waiting for these guys to come get me. But I am in the honeymoon suite. My bed, a mess, headphones. The only reason I chose this room is because the guy said, oh, we have a jacuzzi room. I said, sweet. He didn't tell me it was a honeymoon suite, but now I feel romantic. Anyway, here we go.
And the first white blaze that I hit. It's officially begun. So this is about, I think, 3.5 miles into it. Going up that hill. It's not a big climb, but probably the first big one that you do. I think you go from 420 feet to 1,100 feet. But thought I'd take a break. Definitely hot out here. It's like 78 degrees, but the wind's blowing, which is nice. So we're finally at the top of this hill. It's pretty flat. I'm tired though. There's no doubt about it. Should be coming up on a shelter probably within a mile. But it's nice to get flat ground coming up that hill. So you went from like 300 feet to 1,100 feet, but a little out of shape. So took a couple of breaks. We're going to document all that stuff. It'll be fun. So yeah, it's been pretty quiet here. I've not seen another northbounder. I'm ahead of the bubble for the Novos, pretty far ahead. There's some that have already crossed here, but very few. So I can take as much time as I want. I'm in no hurry, got no plan. Just wing it as I go. The start of day 2. Let's see how this goes. Probably gonna do about 10 miles today. For the most part, I feel pretty good. Last night I had a really bad headache, but that's to be expected. So I actually went to bed pretty early, or at least laid down. So hot in the tent. Couldn't get to sleep till like 11, but just laying down helped. Took some Excedrin. So second day, about 7 a.m. Nice and cool. It's supposed to be a little cooler today. 71 compared to I think 78 yesterday. So humidity's still high, 73%, but starting out a lot earlier than noon. So plenty of time to do 10 miles. All right, so almost 10 miles done today. Coming up to our night where we're gonna stay, or where I'm gonna stay. It's backpack camping ground. Sorry for the stick. Anyway, so feet are pretty beat up today. If you look down here, a lot of rocks like this, just pounding on your feet. Could turn an ankle if you don't pay attention. So, but not too bad of a day. Got most of the hiking done by 10 a.m. and after a couple breaks, talked to a guy that's doing southbound right now, and then I'm gonna come back to Delaware and go north. So there's showers here. bunch of rock. Supposedly it's a super nice camping site. The trail runner that we ran into at Gaffland Park said it's the Taj Mahal of backpack camping. So we will see. Gotta focus, sorry. We'll see if it's that good, but keep recording here, let you see it come in. At least right now I'm focused on not turning an ankle and beating up some more on my feet. Dahlgren Dahlgren's the name of the place here. You can see Tom and Pamby when I turn the corner to go up to this area. Nice.
What are you doing?
Oh, that's a good beat up on the feet. So we're in Washington Monument State Park. There's a bunch of signs, but we got a gravel footpath. Not gonna get that often. A lot of signs like this, just different stuff, commemorating everything he did and whatnot. So I don't know if there's a view up here or not. But there's the monument. It's not the Washington Monument in DC, but it's a different monument. That's up there. We'll take a look at that, I'm sure. See where the path takes us. I don't know, but it's nice to have a path. So, still some uphill climbs. Not too bad though, getting used to them now. Alright, so here's the Washington Monument. A couple of their flip-floppers. These are section hikers from Michigan. Hello! Nothing like waking you up with a uphill run right away. Yeah, well,
Especially if it's the worst one of the day.
I don't know if it is. Exactly, you'll wake up though. Glad I didn't put on my fleece. Alright, so day 4. Planning on doing at least 10 miles today, but might do more. We've got a storm coming in Thursday night, Friday morning. It's supposed to be pretty heavy Friday morning. And first of all, I need to get a new mat because mine blew up, and I'll show you a picture of that in the video. It's kind of funny. It worked last night to keep me warm. It's down to 45 degrees. But we're going to go into Waynesboro, I think it is, Warrensboro, something like that, Pennsylvania. First town in Pennsylvania. I'm going to get a new mat. Dave, the Australian that's with us, is going to get a whole new setup because he hates his pack. He hates his hammock. So, hopefully they have good outfitters. But I may try to do 15 today so that I can go into Waynesboro tonight, Warrensboro, whatever it is. I don't know what it is. Tonight and avoid the rain tomorrow completely. Or if I'm too tired, I may stay at Raven Rock and wait out the storm Friday morning there. Who knows? But we're on to day 4. Woke up a little stiff this morning, mostly from the pad, I think. But it was really cold last night. I wore thermals. What else did I do? I had my fleece on last night. It's quite warm in the tent though. Ended up being good. I didn't want to get out this morning into the cold, but it wasn't as bad as I thought. So, anyway, more updates if there's anything interesting that happens today. But like I said, most of this Maryland stuff is pretty calm. There's no hostels. Nothing really exciting going on. It's just walk, get used to walking, feet feel better. That's about it. So we'll talk soon. This is where the fun begins. That's actually the path through all those nice rocks. So let's go at it. So pretty easy hiking. I just went through a field and came across this. So this looks like my first trail magic, technically. Just jugs of water. Leave for hikers. I've got plenty of water, so I'm not going to worry about it, but that'd be the first thing of trail magic I've seen out here. But right now hiking's pretty nice. Earlier had some brutal, not really brutal, but rock hopping, which I actually enjoy, which is just kind of a precursor to what I'm going to see in Pennsylvania. So it could be interesting. I didn't mind it at all, so we'll see how that goes. Looks like a good place to dip your feet. More trail magic across the way, but I think it's important to record all river crossings or stream crossings because you never know when you're gonna fall in, and catching that on video will be fun. So let's do it. Keep in mind, I'm agile like a cat, so there's a rare chance that I might actually fall in. If I do, it's obviously something other than my fault. Look at that. Skills galore. All right, so this is Raven Rock, one of the newer shelters we're coming up to. I don't think I'm gonna stay here. I think I'm gonna try to get to town. It's like 4 more miles. Hitch a ride, find a ride into town. There's rain coming in tonight. It's going to be cold rain all day tomorrow. It's supposed to be a little severe, so maybe take tonight and Friday off. So stay in town 2 nights, then come back out on Saturday. So, but this is supposed to be a super nice shelter. It's built like in 2010. It's got bear hangs. I don't know if anybody's even here. Does not look like it. Those are for bear bags, so in your food. Try to keep bears off of them. It's kind of nice. Take a look inside. Fire pit's cool. It's got a grate for cooking. Oh, this is fancy shit. Double decker, log, all that stuff. All right. I have no idea what town that is. Not far from the shelter, but there's a blue blaze up here. It goes up there somewhere. I have no idea, but I saw this, and anybody that knows me knows I'm definitely scared of heights. So this is not safe, but I thought I'd come up here and take pictures. But that mountain is the one I just climbed over. Now we're going up this mountain. So, all right, there's your view of the day.